So you've decided a clinical trial might be right for you, or at least that you want to explore trial options. How do you actually find trials, know if you're eligible, and enroll? The process isn't always straightforward, and navigating it while also dealing with cancer can be overwhelming. Today, I want to walk you through the step-by-step process of finding and enrolling in a mesothelioma clinical trial. I'm Terri Oppenheimer. I've been writing about mesothelioma and asbestos for the website mesothelioma.net for over a decade. I'm not a physician, and this is not medical advice. But having a good understanding of the enrollment process will help you pursue clinical trial options much more effectively. So let's start with actually finding clinical trials. The first place to look is the website clinicaltrials.gov. It's the official U.S. government registry of clinical trials, and every trial that's conducted in the United States must be registered there. If you go to clinicaltrials.gov and type mesothelioma into the search box, you'll see a list of all registered mesothelioma trials. You can filter results by trial status. To see trials that are currently enrolling patients, choose recruiting. You can filter by location if you want to find trials near you. You can filter by whether the trial is in phase 1, 2, or 3. Each listing has a description of what's being tested, the eligibility criteria, the locations where the trial is being conducted, and the trial's contact information. Now, reading trial listings can be overwhelming because they're written in medical language. So don't worry if you don't understand everything. The trial team will explain everything to you when you contact them. Before I go on, I'm going to take a break and ask you to do me a quick favor. If you find these videos helpful, please hit the like and subscribe buttons below. It makes it easier for other people who need this information to find us. Also, if you have questions or there's a topic you'd like to see addressed in a future video, send me a note in the comment section. And make sure you watch until the end because I'm going to give you valuable information on where to find resources that will make a real difference for you. Now, beyond clinicaltrials.gov, there are other ways to find trials. One of the easiest is to ask your oncologist what trials they know about. Oncologists, especially the ones at academic medical centers, pretty much know about trials before they're widely publicized. Even if your doctor doesn't have familiarity with these studies, you can contact major mesothelioma treatment centers directly on your own. Centers like Brigham and Women's Hospital, MD Anderson, Memorial Sloan Kettering, University of Chicago, and others, lots of others, frequently have mesothelioma trials. So call their cancer center and ask to speak with someone about options. And don't assume that you can't participate because these facilities are too far away from you. Many clinical studies can be conducted through satellite locations. There are also mesothelioma advocacy organizations that sometimes maintain lists of current trials on their websites. The Mesothelioma Applied Research Foundation and similar groups track trials and can help patients connect directly to the ones with appropriate options. Once you've found trials that seem relevant, the next step is determining your eligibility. Every trial has specific inclusion and exclusion criteria. Common requirements include a confirmed diagnosis of mesothelioma with a specific cell type or stage, or certain performance status, like you need to be healthy enough to participate, have no or limited prior treatment, or specific prior treatments depending on the trial. You need adequate organ function, which means your liver, kidney, and heart are all functioning well enough, and you can't have certain other health conditions that would complicate the trial. Read the eligibility criteria carefully. If you think you meet the basic requirements, contact the trial to inquire about participation. Even if you're not sure, don't rule yourself out prematurely. Let the trial team determine whether you're eligible or not. How do you contact a trial? Each trial listing includes contact information. It's usually the research coordinator's phone number and email. Call or email and say you're interested in the trial and want to know if you might be eligible. The coordinator will ask questions about your diagnosis, the stage, the cell type, any prior treatments you've had, your overall health, and other factors. This is an informal pre-screening. If you seem like you might be eligible, they'll invite you for a formal screening visit. That's where they'll definitively determine whether you qualify. It typically involves traveling to the trial site if you're not already being treated there. You'll meet with the research team, undergo a physical examination and medical history review, have blood taken for testing, have some imaging studies done, and any other tests required by the trial protocol. You'll also be asked to review and sign informed consent documents. The informed consent process is critical. The research team will explain the trial in detail, what's being tested, the potential benefits and risks, what your participation involves, your rights as a participant, including the right to withdraw at any time, and alternatives to trial participation. You'll have the opportunity to ask questions, so take your time and bring family members or friends along with you if you think that'll help you process the information. Don't sign any consent forms until you fully understand what you're agreeing to and feel comfortable and confident in your decision. After signing the consent forms, final eligibility confirmation involves reviewing all your test results to make absolutely sure you meet all criteria. If everything checks out, you'll be enrolled and treatment will begin according to the trial's protocol. What happens during trial participation? You'll follow the treatment schedule specified in the protocol. This could be daily, weekly, or every few weeks, depending on the treatment, and the research team will track your progress closely. You'll have frequent monitoring visits with physical exams, blood tests, and imaging studies to assess your response, and you'll be asked to answer questionnaires about your symptoms and quality of life. You'll be asked to report any side effects or health changes promptly. If you experience serious side effects or if the treatment clearly isn't working, you can withdraw from the trial. If you're in a randomized trial and the data shows that one treatment is clearly better than the other, the trial could be stopped early so that everyone can receive the better treatment. What if you don't qualify for a trial you were hoping to join? Ask the research coordinator if they know of any other trials you might qualify for. It's not at all unusual for groups studying one protocol for mesothelioma to know of colleagues investigating something else. So ask your oncologist about other trial options too. Don't give up if one trial doesn't work out. There definitely could be others. Now, what about the costs? The trial sponsor typically covers the cost of the experimental treatment and all research-related procedures, including extra tests, imaging, and monitoring beyond what would normally be done. Your regular health insurance typically covers standard care costs that you would incur even if you weren't in a trial, like hospitalizations if needed, or treatment for side effects. Some trials offer financial assistance for travel and lodging if you need to travel to the trial site regularly. Ask about this when you're going through the enrollment process. Now, here are some important practical tips. Start looking for trials early rather than waiting until you've exhausted all the standard options. Some trials only enroll patients who haven't had certain prior treatments. Get your medical records organized before contacting a trial. And you're going to need documentation of your diagnosis, your pathology reports and imaging studies, and a record of your treatment history. Be prepared to travel. Most mesothelioma trials are at major academic centers, and you might not have trials available locally. So consider combining trial enrollment with getting your overall care at a specialized center, even for non-trial treatment. Finally, be patient with the process. From initial contact to enrollment can take several weeks as screening and eligibility confirmation proceed. Communicate clearly with both the trial team and your current oncologist, who will need to know if you're enrolling in a trial and might need to coordinate with the trial team. So to review, how do you sign up for a mesothelioma clinical trial? Search clinicaltrials.gov for active trials, ask your oncologist about trial options, contact specialized mesothelioma centers directly, and reach out to advocacy organizations for trial lists. Contact trial coordinators to determine whether you're eligible, attend screening visits, undergo the informed consent process, and enroll if you qualify and feel comfortable. The trial sponsor typically covers experimental treatment costs, while insurance will cover a standard care. Start searching early and be prepared to travel. You can visit mesothelioma.net for more information about finding and enrolling in clinical trials. Or you can call 1-800-692-8608 or use the live chat feature on the website to speak immediately to one of our helpful patient advocates. As for me, remember to post your questions in the comment section below, and I'll see you next time.